this. Okay. So, how do you mathematically quantify romance? Well, it would be hard, okay, to put emotion into numbers. That's difficult. But what you can do is put it into an equation. So what you can have is, where's my mouse? Oh wow, that is tiny. Okay. So what you can have is uh romance. That's romance, okay? Is equal to, this is the equation part, uh parentheses. You got to have, of course, you got to have time. Time is important, all right? Then you got to have, sorry, this is difficult to write on. It's got to be multiply. Wait, no. I don't really, well, yeah, no. Erase this. Erase this here. We don't need this. Why is this so small? I need to increase the size of this. I don't remember the hotkeys for this at all. How many times do you use paint? Eh. Okay. Time multiplied by... Whoa. That's not what I wanted. What is going on? You know what? Okay. Sorry, I don't usually use paint. Who does? Why is it so thin all of a sudden? What is going on? How do you increase the size? I can't remember. Colors, size. Alright. Okay. I got it. Don't worry. I'm not a complete idiot. Yeah, I just found it. Okay. Romance equals time. Alright. Multiplied by it's similarities times sorry, this is awful. I don't have enough room. Let me start this all over again. Okay. I need more room. Romance equals time times I spelled similarities wrong. Similarities times that looks awful, but that's supposed to be completeness times completeness squared divided by differences. That is the equation that I came up with. It's a rough sketch. It's not complete. But this is the equation that I came up with. Romance equals the time that the two people know each other multiplied by the similarities times the completeness squared divided by the differences. And that equals the quantifiable romance of that relationship. So if we could break it down, you can see the time. Time is, of course, the amount of time those two people have known each other. They've been together. They've been through more things than most other people. It's the amount of time the two have known each other and have interacted. That is the time for the romance. Then you have the similarities. What do I mean by similarities? Well, it's the things that the two people have in common. But it's not just like I love the same flavor of ice cream. It's not that simple. It's the things that drive the relationship together that makes it unbreakable so it never comes apart. That is what the similarities are mean. What about the intimacy? Intimacy, Look, okay. Intimacy is an outcome of romance, not what makes the romance. Similarities are needed so that the people in the relationship can stick together and can never be pulled apart. You need the similarities because that is the glue that holds the relationship together. But like I was saying, it can't be just like we love the same flavor ice cream. It needs to be something that draws you closer together, like maybe a common goal, or maybe debatable, maybe a common goal, or something that you both love to do together. Something that really drives you closer together. Now, when I say completeness, which is multiplied by the similarities, the completeness is arguably the most important part. With the completeness is essentially differences. You need to be different in as many ways as possible in a relationship. Why? Because with differences comes the completion. You complete one another. Because with differences, you have skills and abilities that are different from your partner. Because each person has their own strengths and weaknesses. And what completeness essentially means is the strengths of one partner outweigh the negatives of the other partner. You know when people say, I feel like I could take on the world with this person, like when speaking about their partner, like, oh, when I'm with him, it feels like I could take on the world, or I feel so complete when I'm with her. That's because of that completeness. You do not feel any weakness when you are with your partner because your partner could pick up any slack that you lack. That is why it is so important, because that is what makes you stronger as a unit. That is what makes you stronger as a relationship. Now, of course, with both similarities and differences, you can have too much. If you have too many similarities, then, which I can't put into here because this is just a rough sketch of the equation, you can't have too many similarities. You get really passionate about this. That's because I've really been thinking about this. You can't have too many similarities because then you end up being too similar to one another and you don't have enough differences. And when you don't have enough differences, then you more than likely share a lot of the same weaknesses. And when it comes to those weaknesses can easily tear you apart. If you have too many differences, however, that causes, right here, too much conflict. I should actually have this as conflict. I think that's supposed to be conflict, but I wrote differences instead. Just cross that out. That's supposed to be conflict. When you have too many differences, you have too much conflict. And when you have too much conflict, that really drives you apart and really negates the similarities. Which is why I had all this divided by conflict, because the more conflict you have, the more it really stresses out anything that is multiplied up here. Then you multiply all that by time, and you get the romance. So if you have two characters, two people who are too different, then it really breaks the relationship. If you have two characters that are too similar, then it really breaks the relationship. You need a good balance of all of these things. How much time they've spent, how many similarities they have, how many differences that lead to completion they have, and then you have to figure out if their differences really conflict with one another, and that equals the romance. And we can just start plugging things in here, and we could try to evaluate if it's a good romance or not. But we'll just continue on with the game.